Okay, friends, good evening. Good evening, everyone. The continuation of the topic in optical fiber communications is types of rays. So, in optical communication, how many types these rays are classified? If the transmitted rays are passing through fiber axis, then they are known as meridional rays. If the transmitted rays are passing through fiber axis, then they are known as meridional rays. If the transmitted rays are not passing through fiber axis, then they are known as skew rays. In skew rays, they should not have any definite order or definite way to propagate like this only. It doesn't have any proper path, yeah, which follows helical path, elliptical path, what circular path, whatever may be, other than along with the fiber axis direction they can transmit. The figure is like this for skew rays. Acceptance angle, cone of angle. So what is acceptance angle? Let us see the definition of acceptance angle. The maximum angle to axis at which external light rays may strike the air, glass, interference and may enter into fiber in order to propagate is referred as acceptance angle. So what is acceptance angle? The maximum angle which is allowed to pass through the axis at which external external light rays may strike the interference and may enter into the fiber. Okay, the external light rays may strike the glass material and glass interference and may enter into the fiber in order to propagate is referred as acceptance angle. Acceptance angle is nothing but the fiber axis which accepts the maximum angle is termed as acceptance angle. It is termed as acceptance angle. The maximum angle to axis. Next. Next, here it is the clear picture of the how the optical fiber propagated in the fiber axis, okay, operated in the core axis, at what angle they can be propagated or transmitted in the core axis. Okay, so here the clear picture. And then next, what is numerical aperture? So here the numerical aperture is nothing but it is used to describe the light gathering capability or light collecting capability of an optical fiber. So it is used to describe the light gathering or light collecting ability of an optical fiber. It is dimensionless. So numerical aperture of an optical system is a dimensional less number. So it is a dimensionless number that characterizes the range of angles over which the system can accept or emit light. Okay, simply numerical aperture defines the light gathering or collecting ability of an optical fiber. In optics, the numerical aperture is termed as dimensionless number. It is termed as dimensionless number that characterizes the range of angle. So here there should be certain range for numerical aperture. At what range, at what ability the light will be allowed to pass through the fiber. Okay, the range of angle over which the system can accept or emit light. Okay, numerical aperture. Next, here one diagram is there or one figure is there. in order to represent the meridional rays. Meridional rays means the lines or the fibers which are propagate along with the fiber axis or core axis is termed as meridional rays. So a meridional rays optics representation of the propagation mechanism in an ideal step index optical waveguide. Okay, so here the diagram indicates how the entrance phase of the fiber core should be, and how the rays will be reflected in the core angle, and what portion of light will be refracted into the cladding region, that is N2 region. That's clearly here it is clearly mentioned. So n is equal to refractive index of air. So air refractive index, and n1 is defined as refractive index of core. N2 is defined as refractive index of cladding. So here, assuming the entrance face at the fiber core to be normal at the axis. So axis line is there. So here for the axis line, the fiber, the entrance face at the fiber core to be normal to the axis. Fiber core to be normal to the axis. And then refraction at the refraction means bending of the light, how the light bending and travels into the another refractive index, so there should be common refractive index. If there is common refractive index, there should be no refracted ray. So here the refractive index changes, then the reflected and refracted rays also emerges. Next, then refraction at the air core interference using Snell's law is given by Snell's law, simply by using Snell's law. By using Snell's law, we have already defined one equation in previous that is n sin theta m is equal to, theta m refers here meridional angle. Okay, theta refers meridional angle. N sin theta m is equal to n1 of sin theta m dash. Consider a right angle triangle ABC. For right angle triangle ABC, so right angle triangle means there should be obviously hypotenuse and the remaining two sides, there should be hypotenuse. Then theta m dash is equal to 90 degrees minus psi. Okay, where psi is greater than critical angle theta c. So here the angle psi represents for meridional angle, the meridional angle, and psi is greater than critical angle. Okay, psi is greater than critical angle theta c. So we have already known that equation n sin theta m. Sin theta 1 is referred as sin theta 1 is referred as sin theta m. Okay, and n1 here, n1 means n, n2 means here n1 we are taking. Sin 90 degrees minus psi. We know that sin theta m dash is referred as 90 degrees minus psi. So 90 sin of 90 cos. So after that psi is there, so cos psi. n1 of cos psi formula 1 minus sin squared psi whole power 1 by 2. Okay, when the limiting case for total internal reflection. So there is some limiting cases also for total internal reflections as we considered. So psi becomes equal to critical angle. So psi is equal to critical angle. Psi becomes equal to critical angle for core cladding interference. For core and cladding interference, psi is equal to theta c. So 1 minus sin square, here psi place, in psi place we are taking theta c. Sin theta m is equal to n1 of 1 minus n2 by n1 whole power square whole power 1 by 2. From the formula only we have mentioned. Sine square xi. Sine square theta. 1 minus sine square theta. 1 squared sine theta. So from Snell's law we have already derived that sine theta c is equal to sine of theta c is equal to n1 minus n2. Okay, n1 by n2. Here square is there. For that purpose n2 by n1 whole square. Okay. So n2 minus n1 whole square. So sin theta m is equal to, we are getting commonly with n1 square minus n2 square by n1 square. So square root of by n1 square and in power 1 by 2 gets cancelled and n1 is there. So n of sin theta m is equal to n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2. n is equal to 1 అయితే if n is equal to 1, then n is equal to 1 for sin theta m is equal to, so for n is equal to 1 the n term we will remove and sin theta m is equal to n1 square whole power 1 by 2 numerical aperture. So here numerical aperture, what we have already seen in definition, it is a measure of amount of light rays can be accepted by the fiber. Okay, so numerical aperture, or it is termed as the gathering ability or collecting ability of light. Okay, so Na is equal to numerical aperture sin theta m is equal to Na. So that's why Na is equal to n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2. So here numerical aperture is okay. Then we have to find critical angle. Or acceptance angle. So acceptance angle we have to see. So that purpose sin theta m is equal to, this equation is there, no. So acceptance angle is theta m is equal to sin inverse of n1 square minus n2 square. Okay. Next, AA is equal to the maximum angle. We know acceptance angle means, we have already seen the definition of acceptance angle, that is the maximum angle axis, the maximum angle to axis at which the external light rays may strike the interference and enter into the fiber. Maximum angle, glass interference has to touch or has to strike with maximum angle and then enter into the core axis to transmit along with the core axis or fiber axis. Okay, next. So we know that refractive index difference delta is equal to, generally known, delta is equal to refractive index difference means first refractive index minus second refractive index. So relative refractive index is equal to delta. Delta is equal to, here relative instance, the difference between relative index by refractive index by divided with first refractive index. This shows the relative refractive index. So numerical aperture is equal to n1 square minus n2 square whole power 1 by 2. Sin theta m is equal to, we know this formula. So a square minus b square, for in equation we are enlarging, and n1 plus n2. Here for n1 is approximately equal to n2. That's why 2n1 into n1 minus n2. So here numerical aperture, how the relative refractive index is related with numerical aperture and also with the relative refractive index difference, that means RRID. Okay friends. So this is what the 2n1 into n1 minus n2 whole power 1 by 2. So here we are taking this n1 of delta 2 n1 square delta whole power 1 by 2. Okay. n1 minus n2 delta we are taking.